Um, Tom, could you do the roll call?
Yes, I do want to take this moment to remind everyone that we are live streaming and recording this meeting, and both of those processes have already started. Additionally, if any board members attending virtually need to leave the meeting at any time, please post in the chat to let us know, as we may be taking votes without a roll call and will need to comply with statutory requirements regarding virtual public hearings. Jerry Abrahams, Wendy Clark, Phil DeFranco,
Here.
Heidi DeWingert,
Here.
Timothy Hodges, Zani Imitowski,
Here.
Catherine McKinnon,
Here.
Commissioner Mascara Bruno,
Here.
Commissioner Perez, Franklin Perry, Matt Puglisi, Chelsea Ross, Sarah Sanders,
Here.
Lisa Tepper Bates, Greg Ugalde,
Here.
Sean Williams. I want to circle back. Franklin, I see that you are on. Can you hear us? Okay, maybe he's connecting to audio. We do have a quorum in attendance.
Thank you, Dawn. My apologies. I'm on the train and I thought I was going to be in a better place, but I'm not. So I'm going to call the meeting to order, do the public comments, and then I'm going to ask Kathy to continue with the agenda in order not to disrupt the meeting. So it is 10:01. I call the meeting to order. And John, could you do the public comments, please?
Yes. This is the only opportunity on the agenda for the public to provide comments. If you would like to provide a comment, please unmute yourself, or if you are in the room, let us know and state your name. To ensure that everyone has the opportunity, comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Hearing no request for comments, the public comment period has now ended. Commissioner?
Thank you, Dawn. Rob, could you explain the way that we're gonna take a vote today? And then Kathy, thank you for agreeing to continue on with the agenda. And I will be listening. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Just since COVID, our practice has been very transparent in that we've taken roll calls for every vote, but it is sufficient to take unanimous voice votes under FOI and our bylaws. So just with two caveats, one that Dawn already mentioned, that you inform us if you leave the meeting and aren't in attendance for a vote, and if there's a potential no vote or an abstention, then we would run a roll call. And I'll turn it back to you, Kathy.
Thanks, Rob. Okay, the first item on the agenda is the CEO Executive Director's Report. Nandini?
Thank you, Kathy. Good morning, everyone. I'd like to present CHFA's 2026 Key Performance Indicators, or KPIs. As you might recall, last month at board, I presented our 2026 organizational objectives or goals, and at the same time, I presented the 2025 Key Performance Indicators. Just as a reminder, these are ways or types of measurements that we are proposing taking in this year to measure our progress towards meeting our goals. They're designed to reinforce two priorities this year, specifically sustaining production and strengthening our capacity to deliver at scale. With respect to sustaining our production across homeownership and multifamily, on the homeownership side, we're targeting 3,400 purchased loans with a stretch goal of 3,800. Earlier this month, we launched our purchase rehab pilot with a target of 35 closings. It represents the first of two important expansions to our homeownership offerings this year. The other being a non-first-time home buyer program. In multifamily, we are targeting closing on 1,400 affordable units with a stretch of 1,600, along with continued production through Build for CT, the middle income development program, targeting 1,200 total units and 260 middle income units. In terms of building new production channels to take us into the future, we have several key performance indicators developing the next generation of stable and scalable housing tools. One we're particularly excited about is our investment in advancing small-scale homeownership production. We're going to be doing this on two fronts. First, we're building out an early-stage pipeline using the small multifamily loan pool program, which you might recall is our program that targets the rehab or new construction of small multifamily buildings in the state through the community development financial institutions in our state. The board authorized back in early 2025 the expansion of this program to single-family owner-occupied housing development. It's just our way of taking that work and that expansion and bringing it to fruition. The second tool we're planning to deploy will be a state-funded program called Homes for CT, which uses state bond funding to support small-scale homeownership production. Our 2026 focus is going to be on securing some statutory flexibility with respect to this program and developing program parameters so that these resources could be deployed effectively. In terms of strengthening our operational capacity and organizational infrastructure, we're going to measure progress on those fronts through some priorities that support long-term performance, including a number of items. The first one is streamlining our loan underwriting process in multifamily. There was some work done already on this in 2025, and a more detailed analysis of our underwriting guidelines is underway. Implementing a new HR information system, expanding leadership training opportunities for both supervisors and emerging leaders, advancing our 2026 objectives under the 5-year IT strategic plan, developing and presenting a transition plan based on the board's direction for CHFA's future workspace needs, and publishing an updated housing needs assessment. So these are the kinds of investments that are going to ensure that we're not only delivering today, but building what we need in terms of our infrastructure and investments in our workforce to sustain performance in the years ahead. And finally, we're going to continue to prioritize advancing opportunity and equity and access to our programs. And so our goal is that 45% of our purchase mortgage loans will serve BIPOC first-time home buyers, and that at least 50% of our outreach activities will be targeted towards potential BIPOC home buyers. I'm really excited about this work and what we're going to be working on together with with our entire CHFA team, because we're not just trying to meet the demand for housing that is critical in the present, but we're laying the groundwork for what we can deliver in the years ahead. I know the board has been interested in coming together in person in 2026 and has expressed an interest in coming here or meeting someplace in person. And the commissioner and I spoke about this earlier this week. And we are targeting a meeting in May, perhaps in conjunction with our May board meeting, for an in-person board meeting, and we will be developing the agenda that will probably focus on strategic planning updates and other matters of interest. With that, I'm done with my CEO report. I'm happy to take any questions.
Does anyone have any comments or questions for non-meeting? Okay, next on the agenda then is the Finance Audit Committee, and Hazim has a resolution for the board.
Good morning, Madam Vice Chair and members of the board. For your consideration is a resolution to extend CHFA's ability to borrow directly from the Federal Home Loan Bank of Boston for an additional 3 years. 3 years ago, the board permitted CHFA to borrow directly from the Federal Home Loan Bank of Boston as an alternative to bond finance to help fund program loans, specifically the 9% low-income housing tax credit projects. CHFA has utilized the FHLB facility 3 times, and this morning is seeking an extension to the existing authorization. The resolution was presented to Finance Committee, and the committee asked many questions around the purpose of the facility, benefits using the facility versus the bonds, risks using the facility, authorizing resolution guardrails, along with other HFA users. The resolution was approved unanimously by committee, and I'll be happy to answer any question regarding the recommendation.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve the amended resolution as presented by Hazim?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, so I guess we go for voice vote then, right? Is that right, Rob?
Yes, all in favor.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposition? Any abstentions? Okay, the resolution passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Up next is Mortgage Committee actions, and we've got Pat.
Yes, good morning, everybody. At Tuesday morning's Mortgage Committee meeting, Steve Norris presented a request for financing for 66 Union in New London. The financing consists of a taxable bond funded permanent only note and an amount not to exceed $3.9 million at a rate not to exceed 7.22% with a 40-year amortization and a 35-year term. And an additional loan from the Opportunity Fund in an amount not to exceed $1 million at a rate of 1%, interest only for up to 24 months, and payable with 25% of adjusted cash flow over the 35 years following. 66 Union was a 2025 9% LIHTC awardee and will be the new construction of a mixed income community with 46 units. 12 of the units will be for households at or below 30% AMI. 19 of the units will be at or below 50%. 5 will be at or below 60%, and 10 of the units will be at or below 100% AMI. In addition to the financing offered by CHFA, other major sources include $9.2 million in tax credit equity and $10.7 million in DOH and HUD funds. Members of the Mortgage Committee approved the request unanimously, and I'd be happy to take any questions.
Okay, do we have a resolution, motion to adopt the resolution for 66 units, Union Street?
So moved, Heidi.
And a second?
Second, Greg.
Any discussion, questions for Pat? Okay, hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, resolution is adopted. Pat's up again for Intard Manor.
Yes. At Tuesday's mortgage committee meeting, Liz Valagorski presented a request for financing for Quintard Manor in Stamford. Quintard is a Charter Oak Communities property, and Charter Oak is also known as the Stamford Housing Authority. The total financing request is not to exceed $10.475 million and includes a taxable construction to perm note of approximately $6.25 million at 6.75%. It'll be interest only for up to 18 months and then fully amortizing over the 30 years thereafter. In addition, the request included a construction to perm loan from the Opportunity Fund and the amount of $800,000 at 1% for up to 18 months and then paid with 25% of adjusted cash flow. Lastly, the request included the modification of the existing permanent loan, which has a balance of $3.4 million. The term will be extended and it will fully amortize over the course of 40 years. The project is a 6-story elderly community, and the primary purpose of the funds is to install a second elevator to better serve the residents. Charter Oak Communities will use a portion of the proceeds to buy out the interest of their LP, giving the housing authority full control over the property in the future and ensuring the preservation of this affordable community. Upon completion of the installation of the new elevator, Charter Oak will then complete the renovation of the existing elevator with funds that they have set aside. Members of the mortgage committee approved the request unanimously, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve the resolution for Quintard Manor?
So move, Sean.
I'll make the second, Matt.
Okay, any discussions or questions for Pat? Okay, then all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right. Resolution is adopted. Third resolution for Pat on Yale Street.
Yes. At Tuesday's mortgage committee meeting, Carol Gooden presented a request for financing for Yale Street Commons in Bridgeport. The total financing request was not to exceed $10.15 million and included an interest-only tax-exempt construction note of approximately $6 million at 5.6% for 24 months and a tax-exempt construction to perm note of approximately $4.15 million at a rate of 6.35% with an initial interest-only period of up to 24 months and then fully amortizing over the course of 40 years. The project will also receive 4% tax credits and will result in the renovation of 44 affordable units and the preservation of affordability for an additional 40 years. The developer CHP is well known to the CHFA and has experience with similar projects. The project is set to start in the second quarter of this year and is expected to be completed in the third quarter of 2027. 10 of the units are at or below 25%, 17 of the units are at or below 50%, 14 of the units are at or below 60%, and 3 of the units are at or below 80%. In addition to the financing offered by CHFA, some of the other major sources include $7.6 million in tax credit equity, $3 million in DOH funds, and a seller note of $3.1 million. In addition, there's $952,000 in insurance proceeds from a fire that occurred on the property and $308,000 in deferred developer fee. I'd be happy to take any questions from the board member.
Okay, do we have a motion to adopt the resolution for Yale Street?
So moved, Greg.
Thanks, Greg. Second.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Any questions for Pat? Okay, so Rob, I will actually have to abstain on this vote just because my organization is involved with the deal with this developer on a separate deal. So does that necessitate a roll call vote then?
Yes, we can do one last roll call today.
Okay.
Dawn,
Of course. Jerry Abrahams, Wendy Clark,
Yes.
Phil DeFranco,
Yes.
Heidi DeWinkert,
Aye.
Timothy Hodges, Zani Imitowski,
Yes.
Catherine McKinnon,
Abstain.
Commissioner Mascara-Bruno,
Yes.
Commissioner Perez, Franklin
Yes.
Perry.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Give me a chance to go. Mute.
Apologies. Franklin Perry,
Yes.
Matt Puglisi,
Yes.
Chelsea Ross, Sarah Sanders,
Aye.
Lisa Tepper Bates, Greg Ugalde,
Aye.
Sean Williams.
Yes.
The vote passes with one abstention.
Great. Thank you, Don. Next on the agenda are other reports and on the HTCC program. Pat?
Yes, I'm actually gonna turn this over to Colette Slover to report on the HDCC supplemental round, which we just completed. So Colette, take it away.
Great, good morning. This is the results of the rating and ranking for the 2025 HTCC supplemental round. As a quick background, this is a state tax credit program for nonprofit applicants. And CHFA issued a supplemental NOFA to allocate $329,325 of unallocated 2025 credits. In addition, 1 million in returned HTCC funds for a total available in this NOFA of approximately 1.3 million. A priority ranking system was devised to group and score applicants given the limited funding available. And the results of the round, CHFA will issue reservations to 4 nonprofits for the full amount available through the NOFA. Priority group number 1, the supportive housing and workforce housing set-asides. We had 2 applicants that were deemed eligible under this priority group. Both will be awarded funds. In priority group number 2, which was for nonprofit corporations that have never received an HTCC award or have not received one in the past 10 years, we had 5 applications meet this criteria for the priority group, and 2 will be awarded an HTCC reservation. Priority group 3 through 7, no funds remain to consider requests from applicants that were assigned to these lower priority groups, and I can take any questions.
Does anyone have any questions for Colette? And there's no board action needed for this, correct?
Correct.
Okay, thanks, Colette. Next up is our consent agenda. Do we have a motion to adopt the consent agenda?
Make the motion, Matt.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, say, or any discussion? I guess. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstain? Okay, consent agenda is adopted. And last up is adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Kathy, before you adjourn, I just want to
Okay.
thank Sean Williams for the idea of the verbal approval of the agenda items. Thank you. And please feel free to give me any suggestions to make the board meeting better. So thank you.
Thanks, Sayla. Okay, so do we have a motion to adjourn?
I just have one thing.
Okay.
I'm just going to add this again too, because I feel like I'm a broken record, but I feel like there's beginning to develop a crisis for payment, not only because of taxes increasing, but also because of homeowners insurance and the large increase. I just feel like it's coming down around the pike, and I wish there was a way that we could, like, I don't know, like just, I know that I see the differences in homeowners insurance with the loans that we're currently servicing, and it's dramatic. And it's more concerning when you look at people who have a $1,100 a month mortgage payment and that goes up $150 a month. And it's crazy out there. So I just wondered if there was a way that we could have a discussion. I know Department of Housing is working on that, but I just don't want it to become something we're surprised at down the road with delinquencies increasing.
Phil, maybe we can add that to our agenda in May when we're going to have the midterm kind of review of our indicators, key performance indicators. Yeah. So, Nandini, if you can please add that so that we can have a discussion.
Yep, got it.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, I have my hand up.
Yes, Commissioner.
I mean, to piggyback on what Phil stated, I was reading an article that came out in the last 2 weeks. I don't remember the specific date. That talked about how the federal entities, the FHA and so forth, had ended any type of safety net or special accommodations that we're making for people as a result of COVID. And as a result of that, this article was saying there has been an increase in delinquencies, and that it's expected that's also going to end up in an increase in potential foreclosures. I'm sure if you Google it, you could see it. So when we do this analysis, it'd be interesting to if we could have a discussion around if our portfolio still included any significant number or any mortgages that might have still been in some sort of special program at the federal level that was created during the COVID and is no longer, and therefore it may have a bigger increase of becoming delinquent and unfortunately even foreclose.
Yeah, we can look at that in our May discussion around the topic in general, and then maybe a review of our portfolio performance as well.
Yeah, because this article made it sound that, I mean, I was not aware that there was still any kind of special programs related to COVID, 3 years later. But I guess the FHA and some of the other federal entities were continuing some assistance in some cases. The article didn't go specifically in what those cases were, except the fact that there were thousands of loans that no longer had that safety net, and as a result, there was a large, substantial percentage increase in delinquencies. And the article concluded that that may end up in also an increase in foreclosures. And I'm not saying any of those loans are ours, but they may be, some of them may be of ours.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I mean, we could review the numbers, and Nandini and Hussein will get us those numbers, and it will be a good conversation in May. Thank you.
Yeah, I was not going to bring it up since Phil brought that topic up. It's just refreshed my memory. Today seems like I'm picking back on Phil a couple of times. There's something happening finance.
Sorry.
No, Commissioner piled on nicely.
Any other items to discuss before we adjourn? Okay. Are we ready for a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Second. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Say
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Okay. Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.